Hello, world. Hope you're having a fantastic day. It's Augustine Cortez here, coming to you live from the web, specifically Web3. So, doing the daily documentation of what I learned today and really starting to get forward. And I have a crazy story today. I'm really excited to showcase a real walkthrough of some intensity, specifically in the NFT space. Excuse me for a second, and really just start to kind of give a behind the scenes on navigating the space. So actually, I'll begin more about on the developer side. So I was really focused in Solidity. I'm going through a challenge on um, Open Zeppelin where it's called Ethernaut, where you run through challenges um, where they give you the code and you have to run functions, and then you'll get to an endpoint to verify that you completed the challenge. So the reason I want to do this is because it's real life execution of logic and understanding everything, right? It's truly coding, syntax, variables, processing, reading instructions, all the variables that need to take place in order to accomplish a task. And that's my goal, to be technical and savvy enough to accomplish these specific tasks, but also really focus on specialization in many areas. So smart contracts are really the building blocks of the blockchain ecosystem. So having that breadth of knowledge in the area is a superpower because you get to understand what's happening under the hood, and can operate off that. So some specific areas I learned were about fallback functions. Specifically in smart contracts, they have one fallback function. They're not titled, and what this does is almost like the reserve call for the smart contract, and they're always payable, so it'll be receiving um, ether into the smart contract itself. And this is a way to make sure that if functions don't go well or don't go through, there'll be a fallback where it will capture the money, right? If someone's sending you money, but the function isn't appropriate to capture it, the fallback will be the net to make sure it captures the ether. Then I also learned about smart contract ABIs. It's the application binary interface, where it's like an upfront documentation of all the functions that the smart contract has available publicly. That way, if you click the ABI, you'll be able to read the functions, and then code also reads the ABI and is aware of what functions to expect in the contract. So I found that quite interesting to have these protocols already within the code and how code speaks to code among itself. Then some getter methods that allow data to be read from the contract for free. So in smart contracts, when you state certain function signatures or data points, you can either state the scope of it being public, external, or internal. And when it's public, it's under a getter, which means that you can pull this data from the blockchain for free. You don't have to run functions, so you don't have to pay gas. You're not sending um, any new data to the chain, which would cost you. So for these getter methods, you can just view it, get it for free, and obviously not pay the gas. Then I jumped into some area about mapping. This is probably an area where I need to polish up further, is how mapping works with smart contracts. Essentially, it's like a dictionary where you give it a key pair value and you give it the variable. So it's usually like addresses that are contributors. So if you give it the variable being a contributor, and the mapping is you'll have the unit integer, you'll have the address being a integer, unassigned integer. So whenever you do a function and you add this person or the address to the contributor, the mapping can tie that this address, which is a unit, and give it the key pair value. So like I said, this is an area I need to grasp further to tie it to the contract. Seeing it firsthand in the example problem with the astronaut helped a lot, or Ethernaut helped a lot, and that was that. So that was the morning, polishing up the skills. Learned a lot about. Also learned about ER. I think it's something 55 contract, where it's a hybrid model of ERC 721 contract and an ERC 20 contract, which means it's fungible and non-fungible in one contract. This allows the contract to carry more data within it and hence allow you to do more code without paying as much gas. So it's a gas saving mechanism, and then it also allows for bulk transaction or bulk distribution of ownership. So it seems like new NFT collections specifically are really focusing on building on top of this ERC 55 contract for its functionality and utilization to the progress. All right, so those are the main areas. There's definitely some nitty gritty stuff that I didn't document, but where things got exciting today was in the NFT world. So I got an email today that I sold a NFT that I bought for 1.4 Ether, and I sold it for one entire Ethereum or Ether. And that was super exciting to me because it's one Ether, right? That's an entire coin. And it was a big profit, it was a big flip, and I was excited. And I was like, you know what, like this is good. This is validation of choosing the project, believing in it, holding it long enough, and making the move. So that one Ether transaction, it definitely gave me some momentum to reinvest and recalculate and diversify. So I can make an entire video about my NFT philosophy. I'm no NFT expert, but getting exposure into the field and earning my scars. Something that I'm leaning a bit towards is establishing a bit more safety in established NFTs. So what I mean by that is finding collections that have more of an established runway through a certain amount of time where the floor is stable and has been stable long enough and the community is growing. I think those variables are very, very important. And if you come in at whatever point, you're confident that those variables will keep the floor stable, but also progress it. And you can definitely see which projects have that power within itself, specifically community and seeing the transaction volume, all the things that make it arise. But deriving off that, with that one Ether, I was okay. Like I want to essentially put it into established projects. I don't necessarily want to mint anything new at this time. And I was like, you know what? I'm very long on Tezos. Tezos is another blockchain, and their project, there's called Tezards, are essentially the crypto punks of Tezos. They're the most established project in Tezos itself, and Tezos is so new. And the beautiful thing is that it was it's super expensive, but it was affordable enough to enter, to get in. And that's where my faith really derives. You know what? This is a big call. This is like having a lot of chips in poker or after having a nice card and making a call saying, I'm putting all these chips into this because I believe in it, and deriving off that stability point of choosing essentially proven projects, right? Tezos or Tezarts is the number one project in Tezos, and the floor has been stable. It's only been going up, and community is progressing. And what got it crazy, like this is where story time gets crazy. So I was doing my research on Tezarts at Starbucks. This is around we got there around 8:30 p.m. and I'm okay chilling. Let me do my research, due diligence, and let me take a look at the floor. So, and this is like it's just the rough area. So Tezos today had a really good day. The cryptocurrency spiked up from like $5.50. It was like 6.20, 6.40. Like it had a really good spike. So Tezos itself became more expensive. So that's keep that in mind. Ethereum came lower. Ether was sitting around $3,000. So my one Ether, when Ethereum was strong, is 3.4K. On Tesla usually sits around the higher $5. So Tesla's expensive, Ether is low. So my purchasing power of the Ether coin that I was going to use was lower. Okay, so that's or valid variable point one. Next thing is the Tezard's floor. So when I was doing my research, there was this one piece I fell in love with. It was beautiful. It had a monocle. It was high in rarity, and the floor was honestly more than I expected. It was more than the one ether. But like I said, I was long and I got that one ether to move forward. So okay, this is the one I'm gonna get, right? So just keep doing a little bit more research, learning about the community, get my feet wet, and then this was around 9:30, 9:40ish around there. Boom, that Tezard gone. I'm like, okay, nothing to worry about. Like it was a cool piece. Like it was supposed to get swooped like that. So okay, cool. And then I get home and I see that the floor of that was 620. I'm like, oh, okay, like it's not that. It is expensive. Like I had to swap a lot of crypto to get to the floor base of 620, and then I get on my main computer. I was no longer at Starbucks. I get home to do the transaction, and the floor is 640 now. I was like, what? Like that's a big jump, right? 20 ether or 20 Teslas. Teslas is already expensive today. Okay, like what's going on here? So then I do research to find another piece that I'm gonna buy, and then boom, that piece gets swooped too. I was like, what's going on here? And what turns out happened is that there was a sweeper, a floor sweeper of Tezards. Basically, what ended up happening, this was pure chaos, like so intense because this point is already higher over than 4,000 USD. This isn't pocket change. This is a lot of my portfolio. I'm nowhere near wealthy. So I'm like, I won't get in this piece. I already got this commitment fallacy. I'm aware of sunk cost fallacy, all these variables. Like, like I don't have to get in. But like I said, I'm long on Tezos and Tezos being the number one project. I'm like, I need to get in here. And the fact that the floor is being swooped is a good indicator of, there's something behind this project. So long story short, I had to convert a lot of my crypto to reach a new floor of 670 Tezos. That's a lot of money. 675 actually. And this is where it was just like chaos. So what ends up happening is I get enough to buy a new set floor at 675. That's really high. I didn't think I'd get here. And there was another piece at 676. One Tezos more. And I was just in a rush because the sweeper, the intensity, it was, you know, hunting mode. So I didn't bother to take a look at the rarity of the current floor Tezard. And then I purchased it. Then okay, I come in. I got it. Like, I got a Tezard. Yes. Then I take a look at the Tezard that was one Tezos more, and that ranking was double in rarity than what I had. I was like, oh, for $6 more, I could have had twice as rare Tezard. And like punks, like you're talking about punks. If you have a rare punk than another, it could be hundreds of thousands of dollars more. It's like, oh, it was a bummer. It was a bummer. Like I was satisfied I got it, but I was bummed out that I didn't get the rarer one. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do something real quick. It's risky, but I'm gonna list my Tezard at floor price, sell it, and then buy the other Tezard because I wanted to, get it for one more Tezard. But I was aware, like, if I list it and I sell it at this floor and the floor sweeper just comes through, it's gonna be a new floor that who knows where it's gonna be. So I was like, oh, okay. I need to calculate this. Okay, I'm gonna run it. So I listed it, and then when I listed it, um, I looked at my collection on my wallet, and I couldn't find my Tezard. I was like, yo, where is it? And then I could see the listing, and it said buy now for um 675. And then I'm like, is someone already buy it off me? And I check my wallet and nothing. So this is where I started like panicking. I'm like, did I just lose 4,400 USD because of that decision? Like, and keep in mind Tesla is so early that it's clunky. The marketplace objects is clunky. Like it isn't like an open sea. It's nowhere close to existing marketplaces. So I was like, yo, like, did this bug out? Where is my Tezar? Like, I can't find my piece under my collection. And it was 5 minutes of pure panic. I was like, where did it go? I was scared. Um, just poking around, I came across a category under my profile called listings, and there it was. So it had been a few minutes, it didn't sell. I was like, you know what? Like, I'm just gonna cancel the listing, keep it in my wallet, keep it safe, and just hold on to it. And yeah, that's the story. So right now I have a Tezard. I have the biggest NFT project in Tezos. Tezos is going up itself. So that's exciting. It's also like a double appreciation or depreciation rally, right? You can have a high floor of the NFT itself, and then you can have a high value of the currency itself. So I entered at a very high point. Tezos, the currency was high, the floor was high. So it was a very expensive in, but that's the thing is I'm in the most exclusive Tezos NFT collection. I'm long on Tezos and going back to the framework of believing in stable projects. That's where it's at. So yeah, that's the story of today. Been a roller coaster so far. Um, yeah, it's been quite a journey. Even to like, I picked up my mom from surgery. Thank the Lord, thank the universe. Everything came out healthy. She's fine. She's good. Obviously in pain, but she's a trooper. So definitely been a wild day. Um, but the process of learning is crazy. Earning your scars. That's how I felt today. As I was in the most intense trade of my life, a lot of pressure under me. I operated. I wasn't. I could have executed much better. Like I said, I could have got that higher Tezo piece, higher rare Tezard for one Tezo more. Who knows in the future might be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars more than my sell, but I'm in. And when I go to bed tonight, I'm like, okay, I'm in. I'm in the blockchain. So yeah, that's the high overview of the story. Tomorrow, definitely gonna be focusing more on building solidity. I'm not gonna be as aggressive purchasing NFTs anymore. The capital allocation there. So that's the story. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this daily documentation of learning. I wanted to share the story and hope you have pleasant Web3 experience this far. You know, it's a crazy, crazy Wild West right now, but we're getting it. All right. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.